Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
Man, it feels great to be a Duck.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Their competitors, they'll want to put the O on.
Three, got it!
We're going to compete to a standard every day.
The Oregon standard.
Rebound. That's been in. 1.4 to go.
The opportunity to play and put Oregon on your chest should mean a great deal to you.
Unloads on one into left field, back toward the wall. Gone!
This program is staged to compete and to win championships.
Oregon wins!
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, let's talk Oregon athletics.
It is a men's basketball game day. We've got tip-off coming up at Matthew Knight Arena for Oregon and Colorado. I went the wrong way. For Oregon and Colorado. Yeah, the Ducks taking on the Buffs at Matthew Knight Arena. The newest game day poster is out. First 100 fans at Matthew Knight Arena get one printed for free. And you can also print one yourself if you go to GoDucks.com and take a look at that high-res PDF that they're posting for every one of these, all designed by students. Really, really cool endeavor this season. Oregon, Colorado, a chance for the Ducks to avenge an earlier season loss in Boulder. And frankly, it's just another game that the Ducks have to win. They need to start stringing some wins together. Nobody knows that better than Coach Altman. We're going to hear from him coming up in just a little while. Also, Keyshawn Barthélemy, the transfer from Colorado, who has helped Oregon over the course of this season. Maybe not as much as he would like, though, because he's been banged up. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, Oregon baseball season. The first scrimmage of Oregon baseball practice season is tomorrow. That's right. I'll be at PK Park. I think Jordan Brenner will be at PK Park. He's nodding his head that there's a good chance, you know. We're both planning on being there for the first Oregon baseball scrimmage. So Logan Mercado, Jay Stoffel, Drew Cowley, and then the transfer student, Owen Diodati. We're going to talk with all of them as they met with the media this week previewing the start of the season. Also, this was really cool, and I wanted to mention it before we get into more basketball. Dan Lanning got the chance to go to Spencer Webb's high school today, and they've got a framed Webb jersey up there. And Coach Lanning tweeted about it, that it was cool to hear some of the old stories about Spencer Webb. And I just thought that was awesome of him to, one, do that, and then, two, for us to just be thinking about how much this season we all, I think, got lost in the week-to-week. I certainly was guilty of this, but then every time there was a reminder of, hey, what this team went through in the offseason makes you think about some things that are bigger than sports. There's no doubt about that. Coach Altman this week previewing Oregon and Colorado. Again, a 6 o'clock tip-off tonight at Matthew Knight Arena. It's a game between two teams, I think, that have been kind of up and down. There's a lot of similarities between these two teams. Not just that Oregon is 60 in the net rankings and Colorado is 64, but the numbers, the overall records, the statistics even. Some eerie similarities. Dana Altman talking about Ducks and Buffs with the media.
Well, do they give you like a commemorative plaque or a signed box score when you get your first technical, or is there some big ceremony? Or
It just is what it is. Can't believe I got it, but it is what it is.
does it start to feel at all like 2018-19, Dana?
I don't know. You know, every team's different. Every team's different. Every situation's different. Obviously, I'm disappointed with the inconsistency that we've shown. There's no excuse for it now. Early in the year, I could have given them an excuse for it, but now there's none, and we're still inconsistent. So we've got to just keep grinding. We've got a third of our schedule left, and we've got to get better. We've got to grind it out.
How do you just manage the emotions of that up and down? Like, what do you sense the team is like right now? Are they?
You know, we had a really good practice yesterday, and you would expect that after watching the film, that guys would be upset. And we started out really good today. We lost our focus at the end of it. I told them we were going to go long today, and they forgot that. They turned it off after about an hour and a half. But, you know, we needed to get some things done. And so yesterday was great. Today, like I said, was good for the first part, and not as focused as we need to be. And that's been part of our problem, is that consistency and long periods of time keeping the focus either within a game or so. It's our challenge to try to get them better and try to be the best basketball team we can be.
What are some of the fundamentals you're going to be looking for that are going to tell you?
We've talked about them. Board play. We got killed on the boards by Colorado. I think we beat Utah. The games we've won, we've rebounded. That shows our activity. Secondly, the deflections, and it just shows our activity. But we go from 51 deflections against Arizona to 40 against Cal to 26 against Stanford. It just shows our activity. And, we beat Arizona on the boards, we beat Cal on the boards, and the boards were even against Stanford. And I thought we had to win that area. And so, again, we had our chances too. We had 2 front ends of one-on-ones and missed some shots that we got to finish inside and out that would have gave us an opportunity, but we just didn't finish them. So defense, rebounding, and then got to finish some shots.
That consistency, is it an effort type of deal?
I think it's more of a focus, more of a chemistry, but sometimes it's effort. If you're not rebounding the ball, you're not going. You're either not focused or you're not giving the effort. When we're not getting deflections, I'd have to say part of that is effort, part of it's scouting report, focus. So combination of a number of things, but you have to put effort in there. If you're going to praise them when they give great effort and do something special, then they've got to be ready to take a little criticism when that effort's not the same.
What ways have you been trying to change that and get them to put in more effort?
Well, the film, you have to recognize what you're not doing. So we've watched a lot of film to show them what we want and show them what they're not accomplishing. And then you have to be mature enough to take that and try to do something with it. But, and that's why, I was really pleased with the practice yesterday, because I watched the film and saw how much work they needed and really got after it. Today, it was really good for a while, but we went down as they got a little tired. So, but those are the things we do to try to rectify that, is watch film, show them, and then try to make the adjustments.
To that end, Dana, at what point do you have to confront with Khalil whether or not this dog hunts?
We've had a lot of conversations. They haven't gone as well and have been as constructive as we want them to be. I was disappointed, in his effort. I let him know that. So, he's going to have to make some adjustments, or I've got to make some decisions, and his time has been reduced, and that doesn't help us because he is talented, but he hasn't blocked any shots lately. He hasn't got any hands-on balls, and he's not using that length. So, we still got to try to put the best team out there that gives us the best chance. And if he's playing hard, that would help us. But if he's not, that hurts us.
What did Nate do to get himself into the starting lineup, and what has he done to keep him there the last 4 games?
Well, he played well in 2 of the games. I think, we switched it for Arizona. And then he played well against Arizona. He played well against Cal. He did not play well against Stanford. So it's, there's no starting lineup etched in stone. We just wanted to try to free Quincy up a little bit. So it was no major change of Quincy not getting it done or Nate making any drastic changes. We just changed some things up.
I feel like Quincy's handled just the adjustment of coming off the bench.
He's handled it well. He's all about the team. He's not playing well. And part of that, getting to the boards. Part of it is he's relying too much on standing on the perimeter and shooting threes. We've tried to talk him through that a number of times, and it's not like he's trying to fight me on it. I just don't think he realizes, at times that he's not going. that's why I said we just tried to change it up to free him up a little bit and get him more comfortable and just relax a little bit.
What do you have to adjust in how you go about defending De Silva this time? When him and Dante was just a mismatch the first time around?
Yeah, no, they went small on us quite a bit, and it put us in a tough spot. And I'm sure they'll try to ISO it again quite a bit and play small. When they got the two big guys in there, it's a little better matchup for us, but when they went small, it created a lot of problems. And so I'm sure they see that and will put us in those situations. Dante's going to have to do a better job because we still need him on the floor. It's not like we can take him out when they go small. So we've got to do a better job of recognizing that and get him up a little bit and give him some more help.
You'll have Keyshawn back for this one, which you didn't the last time you played them. Just what do you think this means to him? Where he's playing his former team and guys we knows. He didn't leave because he was upset or anything. He just left, So he knows the guys. I'm sure there'll be a little extra there because he knows them all and wants to get them. But I don't think it'll be that big a difference. It seems like teams are crashing on Dante on the left block a little bit more the last couple of weekends. They're
crashing on him wherever he's at. You look at our stats, you're going to. I mean, he's shooting 60%. He's, our most efficient offensive player. So, Stanford ran 3 guys at him a lot. Not just 2, but 3. So, and our inability to sometimes hit threes out of it, and then he turns it over every now and then. So people are going to do that. We've been doubling him every time in practice because we know that's coming. And, he's just got to get used to it. I told him it's quite a compliment. He doesn't like it because he doesn't get shots off, but it's quite a compliment. When somebody doubles you all the time, it's like somebody traps every ball screen, and that's a compliment. When they double you all the time, it's an opportunity to make plays for your teammates, and it does take the ball out of your hands a little bit, but it just tells them they're worried about you.
Coach, some of these postseason goals that you kind of had are in question now. How do you keep the team motivated and move forward game by game?
We play for the next game. We still got a lot of opportunities to finish second in the league. I don't know if you worry about those things you can control, but everybody that's ahead of us, we play yet. So we're not that far out of second. It would take a miracle to catch UCLA because they're kind of ahead of everybody. Tiger would have to go down, or Jacquez would have to go down for them probably to fall out the top spot, just because they are consistent. They're old. They've been the most consistent team. So it would take probably a lot for them to fall out. But the other people in front of us, we play. So we still got a lot of things in our control. And you worry about those things that are in your control. And the only thing that's in control right now is 6 o'clock Thursday night trying to play against Colorado.
I liked that approach from Coach Altman. I really did, because there is the short term, you got to worry about who's next. But then the long term is, there's still a lot to play for this team. So in any case, we'll see what happens. But the Ducks do need to figure some things out. I actually talked with Coach Altman this morning for the pregame interview that we do for the Toto Coaches Corner. I think you'll like what you have to hear. He's always going to be Coach Altman. He's always going to be honest, right? And he was. That's coming up at 5:30 tonight on the pregame show, televised on Pac-12 Network as well. When we come back, Keyshawn Barthélemy, some other notes on Oregon, Colorado this evening. Keep it here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Chris Jakimick, I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. For Oregon and Colorado tonight, what does this game mean? Well, you heard Coach Altman talking about it. UCLA is 8-1. Utah is 7-3. Now, Utah, one of those losses is to the Ducks, and they're the Saturday opponent for Oregon at 5 o'clock. But not getting ahead of ourselves. Arizona 6-3, Arizona State 6-3, USC 6-3, Oregon 5-4, Colorado 4-6. I think this is the game where maybe Oregon can stay ahead of Colorado or Colorado can stay with the Ducks. We'll see. But I think Oregon getting a win against Colorado and moving to 6-4 could be a big deal because USC and UCLA play each other actually this weekend, today. Actually, UCLA and USC on ESPN2 today. So if, say, USC takes a loss there, Oregon and USC are then tied at 6-4. Now, the Arizona schools, who are currently sitting in third and fourth place in the Pac-12, they're on the road at the Washington schools. Arizona had some trouble the last time they played the Washington schools. So it could work out in Oregon's favor if the Ducks can hold home court. And I really feel like right now, resume, all these things, I really feel like that if the Ducks finish in the top 4, regardless of where their resume sits as an at-large, I like Oregon's chances in the Pac-12 tournament because nobody's won more games in the Pac-12 tournament's history than Dana Altman. Ducks have won an awful lot of games in Las Vegas. In fact, the winningest program since the tournament moved to Las Vegas, Oregon. The point I'm making is if the tournament started today, Ducks aren't in. Tournament doesn't start today. And maybe a chance to build some momentum here because they've had the effort. They've had the focus in a few games. But talking with Coach Altman, I think he'd tell you that the focus needs to be there more consistently. That's what this Oregon team needs. And if they can piece that together here down the stretch, watch out because I think this is going to be a good team. But they got to figure some things out. The dreaded P word for every coach, potential. I think the Ducks have a lot of potential. Realizing it, whole different conversation. Meanwhile, Keyshawn Bartholomew, a guy who transferred from Colorado, could make a big impact for the Ducks. Even just in the scouting report on his old teammates. He talked with the media at practice this week.
Well, now that you get a chance to play them, what was the trip to Colorado like when you, I'm sure, very much wanted to play there and didn't get that opportunity?
It was very difficult for me mentally because I wanted to be out there for my brothers, but we lost, and we have another opportunity come Thursday, and that's what matters.
What does this one mean to you?
It means a lot. I mean, obviously it's my old team, but I'm getting to compete with my team in Oregon against my former team. And everybody knows that it means a lot to me, so I don't have to say nothing more.
Just describe the sense of urgency you guys are facing right now to string some wins together.
There's definitely a sense of urgency today, and yesterday I feel like we had very competitive practice. We switched up the teams, and we're really getting after it. So there's a sense of urgency early in practice. So yeah.
Dana mentioned just how inconsistent this team has been throughout the year. You know, what can you do to fix that?
I mean, I would say be consistent, but that's kind of too obvious of a question. But I feel like just coming in every day, working on our games, and being consistent, like in terms of the little things that we do, and then the bigger picture, we're gonna be more consistent. So I would say it starts with the little things.
What are some of those little things?
Communicating on defense, crashing the boards, doing the hard-nosed stuff, diving on loose balls, and because sometimes we hang our heads because we're not making shots, and the inconsistencies in not making shots is affecting the little things.
I realize you're probably not going to match up with De Silva a lot, but what makes him a challenge where I'm sure everybody's going to get asked to help a little bit at times, and what makes him a challenge to defend?
Just his size. I mean, he's 6'9", 6'10", can handle, shoot, can do a lot of things, and I've had the chance to play with him, and he's a very level-headed kid. He doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low, and you can see kind of the maturity in his game. And we're going to have to be ready, bring our lunchbox, bring our hard hats on, and guard him.
Keyshawn Bartholomew, Colorado transfer. I got the chance to talk with Keyshawn after one of the games last weekend, and I learned that he actually wants to go into journalism. He wants to maybe do broadcasting when it's done. I think he'd be really good at it. Keyshawn Bartholomew, they call him Rocket. I honestly feel like the one of a few X factors that I've been thinking about down the stretch for the Ducks is how his energy off the bench, in a starting lineup, wherever the Ducks decide to use him, his energy is really meaningful. But in addition to that, he's probably the fastest guy on the team, and his ability to get to the basket and create for the Ducks, I think could bring a wrinkle that they just haven't had. Will Richardson can do that, but he does it more with his savvy. Keyshawn Bartholomew can do it just by going by somebody. I do think that creates a bit of an odd mismatch at times for the Ducks, and I feel like it could be a real weapon for Oregon moving forward. Now, this is a Colorado team, though, that is eerily similar. I say that again. They are eerily similar to the Ducks. So listen to this. Colorado, 10th in three-point shooting percentage at about 31.5%, 12th in free throw percentage. The Ducks are playing a team that's worse than them at the free throw line. Wow. But the other side of that coin, Oregon, 11th in the conference in three-point shooting percentage at 30.4%. That number has gone up a little bit. And then free throw percentage, Ducks are at 68%. And that number's also gone up a little bit. I joke, but Keyshawn Bartholomew and Jermaine Couisnard being back has added to that free throw percentage improvement. And the Ducks have had the right guys shooting them at times. But this is interesting. Again, similarities between these two teams. The Ducks are shooting 34.3% from behind the arc in their 11 wins and 24.9% in nine losses. Those of you who watched and listened to Tip-Off Tuesday with Kevin McKenna, he was like, look, this is not difficult. Teams that hit threes and teams that win the rebounding battle, those are the teams that win games. The Duck numbers really do identify that. The Ducks have made 10 or more threes in 5 of their 11 wins, and they're one of 2 Pac-12 teams shooting under 31% from three-point, and they have a 5-2 record when they make 10 or more threes. Three-pointers matter. It makes a difference. The Ducks are 219-31 under Dana Altman when they out-rebound their opponent, and they're 11-4 this season. Again, the numbers tell you, hit threes, rebound well. And the Ducks are 4th in the conference in rebounding margin, plus 4.7 coming in. But I think that a key in this game is going to be turnover margin. Oregon is middle of the road in the Pac-12. They're usually about 1 down in turnover margin on the season. Ducks are 185-62 when recording fewer turnovers than their opponent under Coach Altman. That makes sense. They're 3-2 this season. They had 5 turnovers against Cal. That was the fewest that the Ducks had since a great performance at Oregon State on February 27th of 2020. Oh, that was a good one. They only had 4 in that game. But The turnover margin, I think, is a really big deal because Colorado is a squad that gets after you defensively. They average over 8 steals per game. They're the second best in the conference in stealing the basketball from their opposition. Only 2 Pac-12 teams average 8 steals or more per game, and Colorado's one of them. They had 12 steals against then number 11 Tennessee. It was the most steals versus a ranked opponent in the Pac-12 era for the Buffs. They really get after you defensively. So I think turnover margin is going to be key in this game because Colorado, again, the numbers tell you, don't shoot it all that well. But they do score 72 points per game, which is the 4th best in the league. And just to give you an idea, Oregon scoring 70 a game, they're the 7th best in the league. So I think that turnover margin is going to be key because all the other statistics and metrics, they're honestly kind of a wash between these two squads. Now, I say all that. I said these exact same things when Oregon played at Colorado. They were eerily similar statistically when the Ducks played in Boulder. Didn't go great in Boulder. Colorado leads the all-time series, by the way, now 16-11. And Colorado has won 2 straight games against the Ducks, that Pac-12 tournament quarterfinal and then earlier this month in Boulder. That was a tough game for the Ducks. Really tough game for the Ducks. It's the worst Oregon has played this season. At least that's what Coach McKenna said. In the matchup tonight, I think it's going to be about a quick start for the Ducks. And I think it's also going to be about containing KJ Simpson. Those are my last keys to the game. Because KJ Simpson, Colorado's top scorer, did not play in the game in Boulder. He was sick, actually. Adding him back to the mix. Now, that being said, Keyshawn Bartholomew didn't play against Colorado. Both teams are getting a guard back. So, different-looking squads tonight than when they played about a month ago. Colorado 12-9, 4-6 in conference. Ducks are 11-9 and 5-4 in Pac-12 play. That's the matchup tonight. When we come back, switching gears a little bit, we're going to talk a little Oregon baseball as the Ducks get set for practice to begin. And then before you know it, we're going to be throwing the first pitch at PK Park. Break time. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
Dear winter, Toyota's got 20 vehicles with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, and that's more than any other auto brand. So you bring the action, and we'll bring the traction. Always Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer's websites as of 11/21/22.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Basketball tonight, and then Oregon baseball season going to be here before we know it. The Ducks will throw their first pitch against Xavier at 3 o'clock on Friday, February 17th. You heard from head coach Mark Wazakowski yesterday, and today we're going to hear from some of the student athletes. Logan Mercado, who was such a competitor for the Ducks, pitched some major big spot innings for Oregon, and really could do it all. And worked hard in the offseason to improve his repertoire. He talked about that a little bit, and he figures to maybe be a guy that's not a reliever this year. Could be in that starting rotation. Logan Mercado talking with the media heading into baseball season.
Logan, just what have you been working on to improve this offseason? Where do you think you are right now?
Really moving more athletically down the mound. Last year, what kind of worked for me was going really fast. My rhythm was really sped up, and that messed up hitters a lot. But my velocity was down. It worked when I was a reliever, but this year, if it's going to work in the rotation, I had to figure out how to move better down the mound, use my legs a little more. So that was really my focus for the off season, and just getting stronger and gaining a little bit more weight. So it's pretty much been the focus.
Is the rotation, is that where you expect to start the season?
Yeah, I think. I think that's been the consensus. You know, I was starting some games in the fall. I'll be starting some scrimmages here in the winter, and so yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
What's kind of the biggest part of the adjustment to that? Is that mainly a mental thing? Is that a lower body thing that you have to build up strength in order to prolong your delivery? What's some of the components?
I think more endurance. I think since now it's you get to go longer in the games now. You know, you're kind of on your own clock now. So just the endurance piece, building up your body for that, I think that's been the biggest piece so far.
Feel a change in where you are this year entering the season, where you were compared to maybe last year where you were entering the season, coming off a lot of success against some big time hitters in this conference?
Yeah, I got a lot more confidence coming in. I wouldn't say it's cockiness, but I feel good about everything. I feel like a little more seasoned than I was last year. I feel like I really, coming into the year last year, I really didn't know what I was going to do or what my role was going to be. I feel like I have a pretty good idea about that now, so I feel a lot better about everything, and just a lot more confident.
How has moving to the rotation changed maybe your pitch sequencing or what pitches you want to throw this season?
Last year was really only 2 pitches. I threw a changeup, but I feel like I didn't. It was more just flashed, just to say I had it. Now it's a 3rd pitch consistently, which is always good. Worked on the slider a lot this offseason, and I feel like I have 3 really good pitches where I could throw in any count. So it's always good to have as a starter, so that you can go deep into the lineup in the later innings.
Is there a particular moment, turning point, where you feel like that 3rd pitch kind of clicks for you, that changeup?
I would say last year I worked on a lot in catch play. Me and Jake Angier talked about it during the regional last year, where I actually threw it in game, and he was watching my catch play a little bit, and he was just like, "Oh, that's a nice pitch you got there. Why haven't you been throwing it?" I'm like, "You never asked." And so we started throwing it last year during the regional. I got a couple swings and misses, and I've just been throwing it a lot this offseason, trying to get it more consistent. Now it's where it needs to be.
What do you think some of the strengths of this rotation are for you guys, and I guess the entire pitching staff as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's mixed up between a lot of veteran guys and then a lot of freshmen. So I think a lot of those guys are going to have, the freshmen especially, are going to have a lot of opportunities this season to show what they got. I feel like we've got a lot of diversity in terms of movement and heights and body types. I think it's going to mess hitters up a lot. And in terms of the veteran guys that we got, I mean, it's just experience and confidence that we got out there that we're going to roll out every game. So, you can expect to see guys who know what they're doing, and then some exciting freshmen that'll light it up a little bit.
Last year's lineup was one of the better ones in the conference, and some stats have been across the country. Just where does this year's lineup go when you have to face them compared to what it was last year?
It's scary. It's even better than last year. I think it's the best we've had since I've been here. I mean, we have legitimately 12, 13, 14 guys who could start right now. And it's tough going out into the scrimmages and facing that lineup every day. It really makes you better as a pitcher, because really outside of that lineup, I mean, you're not really going to see much better hitters in the conference. I mean, you're facing some of the best hitters in the conference and on the West Coast, maybe the whole country. So, and that really helps as a pitcher, you know, just helps us get better and helps the hitters get better too. And, you know, our offense is just going to be scary.
Flipping sides on defense, you guys lose Kasevich, who's such a rock there at shortstop the last couple of years. Just how do you feel pitching now with the competition going on at shortstop, and what the confidence you have in those guys are?
I feel great about it. I mean, the good thing about a competition is, you know, everyone's working hard, trying their best to win that spot. So everybody's making sure that they have it pretty much almost perfect, and that people don't notice you there. And when you don't notice the defenders are there when they're doing their job, it's a good thing. And so I haven't been noticing much mistakes, which is really good. So I think our defense we're going to reload and possibly be even better from the past couple of years.
Is there one guy during the fall ball that surprised you coming in, where you might have had not low expectations, but maybe just didn't know about the player, and he comes in and rakes or pitches well?
Yeah, I didn't know about Riku Nishida coming in. I had a couple of friends from junior college who played against him at Mount Hood who told me really good things about him. Told me that, you know, he was really hard to play against, and coming in, I was hitting grounders to him in the beginning, and he is just one smooth guy over there in the infield. I mean, and facing him in the fall, it was pretty cool, because you don't see that type of baseball in the States. You know, since he's from Japan, he's got kind of a funky approach coming to the plate, and he's a slap hitter. So, you know, you don't see that much coming here, playing here much, and you know, that was a guy who impressed me a lot. Not really surprised, but you know, it's just a different style.
Have you played with anybody like Riku before? Because he's noticeably different when you watch, when you just compare him to other second basemen.
Yeah. No, I've never played with anyone like that, and I'm really looking forward for the opportunity to, you know, have him behind me and have him making plays for me.
Yeah, Nishida has been reviewed so far by the coaching staff when I've talked to him as one of the fastest guys they've seen. I mean, he can just wreak havoc stealing bases. His approach to the game, it's a fun storyline, especially as he figures to be a contributor for this baseball team. It's a fun storyline for Nishida coming in to this program. That was Logan Mercado meeting with the media. And then we're going to go and stick with the pitching when we come back. Jay Stoffel, local guy, real competitor at the end of the year. Probably our rotation guy. Continuing to talk baseball as we get ready for opening day on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union, onpointcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
To your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. We're going to continue to talk Oregon baseball. Heard from Logan Mercado. Now Jay Stoffel, guy from Roseburg. I thought his changeup at the end of the year was legit. And he pitched some big innings for the Ducks. Remember the rotation, a little bit in flux. Wasn't as consistent as maybe the Ducks would have liked it to be. I thought Jay Stoffel gave Oregon a little bit of a steady presence toward the end of the season. And he met with the media previewing the start of Oregon baseball season. Here's our conversation, media's conversation, with Jay Stoffel.
So, just where have you been trying to improve this offseason? Just where do you think you are as of now?
I think I put myself in a pretty good spot through the work I put in through the summer. Obviously, I think the biggest thing I had to work on was the velocity helps, obviously, and I was about 88, 90 last year, and I'm up to 94 now. I think that makes a big jump for a player, and strength was a big part over the summer. I think where I made most of my gains was over the summer, and just building strength and mobility and being able to, just be strong and physical. I think that goes a long ways.
That's a significant uptick. So, what goes into making that happen in that kind of timetable? Because, fans hear that and they think 4 or 5 miles an hour. 4 or 5 miles an hour, that speed is pretty significant. So how do you make that happen in a couple of months?
Yeah, like I said, just being in the weight room every day, 5-6 times a week. And obviously just getting with Daryl and our weight trainer, and he just gave me a good plan for the break, and just doing that, like I said, 5-6 times a week, and the mobility that he had me doing so I don't get stiff while working out, so I still stay mobile and being able to be flexible while getting stronger, and I just feel really strong and good.
You, on paper, you're scheduled to step up in the rotation on a much larger role this year, outside of velocity improvements. This offseason, where did you look to improve in your stuff, or just your flexibility, things like that, to help you go through a longer season? Get more innings. Sorry, that's a poor question. Just this offseason, on paper, you're scheduled to get into rotation, get more innings. Right. Where else do you look to improve upon other than velocity?
Just getting experience, honestly, at this level. Playing in the summer league, just playing around this talent. Coming from a JUCO, it's just just getting your feet wet. And then getting into the rotation. Started out a little rough at the beginning, and just getting the experience, getting your feet wet. You start to get more comfortable. The more comfortable you get, the better you're going to be. That's why you see people improve from freshman to sophomore to junior year, because they get more comfortable. They figure out what it's like, and it makes it a lot easier when you've done it for at least a year.
Was there a point last year where you felt like you got your feet wet?
Yeah, being thrown in there against Ball State for my first time, coming back from that injury, it was a little rough. Just like I said, getting my feet wet. But I think I made progress every weekend that I pitched, and then the Arizona and that regional game is probably my best games. Obviously, towards the end of the year, getting, like I said, that experience and getting comfortable pitching at that level.
What's it like going from facing last year's lineup to this year's lineup?
On our team?
Yeah.
Our offense was unbelievable last year, and we're going to be just as good, if not better, this year. And I think that goes a long ways in preparing someone for the season. When you have a top offense in the pack last year, that makes it a lot easier to face Pac-12 hitters when you are facing some of the best every weekend for 3 months or whatever it is, leading up to the season. And then going into this year, same thing. We have unbelievable depth. Everyone on our team can put the ball out of the park, and so just being able to pitch how you need to pitch, and it gets you really prepared for the season.
A lot of new arms out there, particular freshmen, a lot of lefties. Anybody stand out just yet in terms of a lot of newcomers, particularly in the bullpen?
Yeah, we're a lot of new guys this year. Leo Altman, I think he's going to be really good for us this year. All the freshmen are going to be really good for us. I'm not just going to say Leo, but I think they all have to step up. We got a really young staff, and I think they're going to do just fine. They're all really competitive. They throw strikes. They got good stuff. All upper 8s, low 9s. They're good. We got a good freshman class.
Has analytics played a part in your growth as a pitcher at all in the offseason or last year? And how would you describe that?
Yeah, so I've never really paid attention to analytics too much because I never had it, I guess, until this last year when I came here. So I think developing a pitch, like my slider, we started working on that, and my sinker is pretty new. Both those pitches were new last year, and that's getting to see them with the analytics, and that goes a long ways in being able to develop those pitches. But improvements in velocity and all that stuff, analytics can do a little bit, but I think that's more weight room stuff, and just maturing, your body maturing, getting older and stuff. So that goes a long ways too.
It's a balanced effort for sure. That's Jay Stoffel, and I thought Jordan was the one that asked that question because, the analytics are something that Coach Angier works with, Daryl Hunter works with. The analytics have really impacted the way that Oregon baseball operates. So there's no doubt. Brett Thomas is sort of the spearhead of that on the staff for Oregon baseball. Now, though, that being said, the traditional approach, improving velocity like Jace was talking about, weight room. Good for him for doing that. 5 mile an hour difference, especially with his changeup, I think is a big, big deal heading into this season. Jay Stoffel talking with the media there. I don't want to get too carried away with baseball, but I'll just tell you all, I think this is a top 25 team. I think the offense is going to be really good, and then I think if Logan Mercado, Jay Stoffel, the rest of that pitching staff improve from last year, it's going to be a fun year at PK Park. It's going to be a really fun year at PK Park. Let's hear a little bit from Drew Cowley, a guy who had quite the odd injury last year. He broke his handmate bone. Doesn't happen very often. And he was hitting well over 400 at the time. He was one of the best hitters average-wise in the entire country. Ducks sure could have used him throughout the entirety of the season. Might have been good for a few more wins. You got to think if you're tracking wins above replacement in college baseball that Drew Cowley's would have been through the roof. Well, the Ducks are excited to have him back, and a guy that can play a couple different infield spots, Drew Cowley with the media.
What went into your decision to return for a final go-around?
Just excited I wanted to come back, getting to go to a regional. Wanted to come back and, make a push for Omaha this year. With one more year eligibility, I didn't want to, have that what if I didn't come back, and love the coaching staff here, the group of guys, and I knew the new group we had coming in was going to be really good too. So just wanted to come back and make that push for Omaha this year.
Where were you at this time last year entering the season? Coming from a JUCO, maybe not knowing exactly what to expect from this level compared to where you are this year, having some success last year.
Yeah, definitely it's nice now kind of knowing what the Pac-12's like too, and having that year under my belt. Obviously got hurt last year, and it'd be nice to have a full season this year. But super excited to get this year rolling and, building off things from last year, going into this next year, and it should be a fun year.
Take us back to in the high school days, because statistically people look at what you did last year and go like, all right, how did that guy end up in junior college in the first place? Like that's kind of a huge jump statistically, and you had a tremendous year last year. How'd you end up where you ended up first?
I think, being in high school, I wasn't the biggest kid. I'm still not. And I was kind of, it took a while for me to develop baseball-wise. And being at Cal Poly Pomona and being able to develop a little bit, got to start as a freshman there and play, was really good for me. And then getting the opportunity to come here and play and just making the most of my opportunities. I've just enjoyed it a lot, and it's been a blessing.
Did you have a short senior season in high school? Because somewhere I looked up, it said we only played like 22 games or something. So.
Yeah, I think at my high school we didn't play a whole lot of games. Our coach was pretty old-fashioned, so we just played like 20 or so games, and compared to the other high schools where you play like 40. So we didn't play a whole lot. But geez, yeah, that was a little while ago.
Are you kind of thankful at all for like a non-traditional journey to Oregon and to this level where, you know, you go back to JUCO, you play a lot, but it's not exactly the same journey everybody takes?
Yeah, no, I think everything kind of happens for a reason. I've kind of lived by that, and I was grateful for my time at my old school, and then getting the opportunity to come play here last year was amazing, and now getting the opportunity to play another year here is even better, so it's been awesome.
Hearing from Coach Waz, I mean, it seems like it's going to be 3 weeks of heavy, intense competition for a lot of different spots. Just what's your sense of how ready this group is to embrace that competition over these next 4 weeks?
I think the group really loves the competition, and I think it helps push everybody too. And it's good for the younger guys also, and the older guys. It just kind of pushes everybody to, you know, get to that next level kind of too, and get us ready for opening up season in February.
Before you went down with the hamate injury, you were one of the best hitters in the country. Just, you know, how is your injury doing now, and just how do you look to replicate that for this upcoming year?
I feel good. I feel stronger. Pretty much, you know, back to normal. I was able to play summer ball too this past summer, and that helped a lot. Getting the, you know, more reps, getting back to full strength, and then this fall and break took the time to, you know, get stronger again, get back, and I feel great. I'm super excited for this year.
And again, last year as an offense, as a total, you guys were really prolific. Just what are some of the comparison and contrast from last year's offense to this year's?
I think we're definitely going to hit this year again. We have a lot of depth, you know, from the guys who are going to play to the guys who are on the bench. I mean, you can put anybody in that lineup and they're going to do well. And I think that's the nice thing about this year. And, you know, last year we had that same problem. It's a nice problem to have. So I think it's a good thing looking forward for this year and then down the road also.
When you have kind of an unusual injury like that, do you have to wear a hand guard now or anything like that?
No, I got full movement back in my wrist, everything, no pain, nothing. I was lucky. The surgeon did a good job, and I was able to get full mobility back, no brace, nothing. So it's been great.
Do you have a preference on where you would want to land on the infield, whether short, second, or third?
No, I mean, wherever I can play at the end of the day, and wherever I can, you know, help the team be successful. Anywhere, wherever Waz, Martyr, and all them put me, any way I can help the team.
Who are some of the newcomers who either impressed you or risen your expectations of what they could become?
All of them. But to name a few, Dominic Hellman, he can really swing it. He's got some power. Drew Smith has been doing a really good job. Owen Diodati has been doing a great job coming in. I mean, that's just to name a few. I mean, I could talk about every single newcomer who came in and how, you know, they've done a really good job and have made a push to, you know, help this team be successful, make a push for Omaha.
Drew Cowley, and you know, talking about newcomers, he's one of the newcomers that made a real impact for the Ducks last year. That can happen in college baseball. And talking about Owen Diodati, he actually did talk with the media. We won't have time for it today. We'll continue to preview Oregon baseball season. Probably get to him tomorrow. I do want to get a timeout and tell you about some bracketology. I'm serious. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Duck fans! The official 2022 Oregon football trading cards are now available exclusively at your local Oregon Jackson's food stores. The cards feature over 100 of your favorite Duck football student athletes from the 2022 season. Each pack contains 14 cards, and 1 out of every 10 packs will contain a special edition signed card, so be sure to collect them all to complete your set. Visit Jacksons.com for store locations.
Jacksons. Let's go.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This is an important message from the Mine Safety and Health Administration. Mining fatalities, accidents, and injuries are preventable. Taking a minute to approach your task safely can protect you and your fellow miners from injury and death. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Do it safe. Do it right. Whether buckling a seatbelt or securing equipment, these quick safety measures can prevent injuries and fatalities. Take time. Save lives. For more resources, visit MSHA.gov.
Farming is dangerous. There's dangers all around us.
We go through safety training and try and do these things to make sure accidents don't happen.
You don't want to hit a gas pipe because that's your life. The other part of it is if you hit certain things, you're liable for it.
Farm Safe 811 starts with you. Always call 811 and wait for any underground lines to be marked.
Always keep safety in the back of your mind. Just stay humble.
For more information, go to farmsafe811.org.
It's bracket season, all right? Bracketology. We're going to talk about it. Bear with me. Okay, so Joe Lenardi just sent this out. Pac-12, right now he's got 4 bids, 2 on the bubble. UCLA and Arizona, he has them as 2 seeds. Arizona State, an 11 seed. USC, a 12 seed, the last team in. USC, a team that Oregon will play coming up. And also, USC's playing UCLA today. Could be a big resume boost for them. Okay. Utah, considered. He has them at number 77 overall. All right. Okay. They're also an opponent for Oregon on Saturday. Guess who he has at number 81 overall? Oregon. Considered. So the door might not be completely slammed in Oregon's face. It's cracked open. A victory over Colorado, you might wedge that door open a little more. Still a lot to play for the Ducks. A lot to play for the Ducks. 5:30 pregame, 6 o'clock tip. See you at MKA.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer? The drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label.